The Golden State Warriors aren't just the most expensive team in NBA history, they are far and away the most expensive team in the history of North American professional sports. They are paying roughly $176 million, and they will also owe over $170 million in tax payments. This accumulates to $346 million of expenditure. The Los Angeles Clippers were the NBA's second most expensive team this past season, and they came in at around $250 million. The Clippers, Nets, Lakers, and Bucks spent half as much as the Warriors did this season, and the rest of the NBA isn't thrilled by that. Today's video will be about the Warriors and why they may be unable to pay most of their players beyond next season. Before we go any further, make sure to like the video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting NBA content. Let's keep rolling! The luxury tax that the Warriors are paying is just as much as they're paying their players. This is exactly why they couldn't keep the whole championship team together. If they would have paid Gary Payton II and Otto Porter Jr., their luxury tax would have exceeded their payroll. The Warriors had to pay around $14 million combined to both of those players, and, as a franchise, they would have had to pay around $50 million in luxury tax, which would put them over the $400 million range, which Joe Lacob has repeatedly said is not even remotely possible. He even tried to voice out his opinion against the luxury tax and said that they developed players like Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, and Kevon Looney, but all he received for his opinion was a $500,000 fine. The Warriors are completely fine for the 2023 season as they have the bulk of their championship core intact, along with a bunch of players who can fill in the roles of the players who left in the offseason. Things will get tricky in 2024 because the Warriors' championship core currently consists of Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, Kevon Looney, Draymond Green, Jordan Poole, and Andrew Wiggins. Some of these players are at least locked in through 2024, but Green, Poole, and Wiggins will either have a player option or will become unrestricted and restricted free agents. These players are looking for a hefty paycheck, and if that were to happen, the Warriors would be paying around $500 million for both contracts and luxury tax combined, which is impossible. Let us talk about the three of them. First off, Draymond Green is part of the greatest trio the NBA has ever seen, and letting him go because of a contract dispute would hurt the Warriors. According to some sources, Stephen Curry also wants the trio intact, and he will be very unhappy if Draymond leaves. Curry sees this as a package deal, but the Warriors don't want to give a max contract to Draymond Green because he is 32 years old. A max contract would pay him $164 million over 5 years until he's 37. A 2017 version of Draymond Green, when he was in his prime, is definitely worth the max contract, but his age and style of play don't fit a big sum of money. The Warriors could potentially get a few other players who could fill in the gap on the defensive end. So, paying a max contract to an aging 32-year-old defensive player who can't shoot might hurt the Warriors in the long haul. For now, the Warriors should see how the 2023 season plays out and deal with Draymond's contract situation at the end of the season. They should keep Draymond on the team and pay him fairly, but a max contract is impossible. If this negotiation takes place after the 2023 season, it is very unlikely that any other teams in the league would want to pay a 33-year-old defensive specialist a max contract. Next off, we have the contract problems of Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole. Wiggins was the second best player in the NBA Finals and was also tasked with guarding the opponent's best player. Poole, on the other hand, brought his three-point expertise to the game. The contracts of these players will expire in 2023, and Wiggins will be an unrestricted free agent, while Poole will become a restricted free agent. A video went viral where both of these players were happily looking for a bag, and they would most probably ask for a massive paycheck from the Warriors. There is simply no way to keep both of them if the Warriors want to keep their total expenses lower than $400 million. These two players played a significant part in the 2022 championship, and the Warriors should wait for the 2023 season to end and see how it goes. At this moment, Wiggins is the better choice because of his ability to play both ends of the floor, but if Jordan Poole has another breakout year where he becomes even more like Stephen Curry and starts to play at an all-star level, then Bob Myers will have a tough decision to make. Moreover, there's another possibility that Kuminga somehow develops into a rising star in the league like Anthony Edwards did in his second season. If he starts to knock down threes all of a sudden, then they might keep Poole. The best way for the Warriors to extend their dynasty while dealing with the salary cap issues is by developing their young players, such as Wiseman, Moody, Baldwin Jr., Santos, and Rollins, because their future depends on them. If these players develop at the same rate that Jordan Poole developed, then there would be no problems moving forward because these are great young players on rookie contracts, along with veterans who are on max contracts. The Warriors may also follow the San Antonio Spurs model and take pay cuts to keep the team together, but the only issue here is that Stephen Curry is already signed to a contract that pays him around $50 million a year for the next 4 seasons. Additionally, Klay's contract is set to expire in 2 years when he turns 34, and he will still be an amazing player because of his marksmanship and will probably still be able to earn a pretty good amount in the NBA marketplace. No one knows whether he will try and get a max contract or take the silver bullet for this Warriors team. All these contract issues in the next 2 to 3 years are mind-blowing, and there will be a turn of events. Currently, the best course of action for the Warriors and their salary problem is to dominate the 2023 season and see how things unfold. If the Warriors suddenly decide to keep Draymond Green, they could face a $400 million dilemma. Draymond can enter free agency at the end of next season and is consequently seeking a maximum extension of $138 million for 4 years. This would cause the Warriors to pay $400 million in luxury taxes and player penalties, a figure that is beyond the $346 million that they paid last season. As said earlier, Andrew Wiggins and Jordan Poole will hit free agency at the same time and will expect higher salaries. In the case of Poole, his salary might spike from an annual salary of less than $3 million to one north of $20 million per year. Moreover, young guns such as James Wiseman, Moses Moody, and Jonathan Kuminga will need extensions in upcoming years. Considering the complaint of Golden State's ownership, it is very unlikely that they will pursue the option of the $400 or $500 million range to keep their core together, which is completely understandable. The Warriors might make other sacrifices on the roster if Draymond is flexible enough to accept a good figure and less than the max contract. If he won't change his mind on getting the max contract, then the Warriors would be forced to trade him. They would still be a very competitive team with a core of Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson. However, there is no other player in the league that can provide the sportsmanship that Draymond provides on the floor and in the locker room. If Draymond leaves, Stephen Curry will have to create a ton of offense, given a lack of playmaking. Golden State will soon be in decision mode, and only time will tell how they will resolve this issue. And what do you guys think? Will Golden State go ahead and pay $400 million to keep Draymond on the roster? Who will they keep on the roster outside of Poole and Wiggins? I would love to hear your opinion, so please let me know what you think in the comments. Thanks for watching, and do not forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more amazing NBA content.